Alright guys, I'm Bea.
And I'm Matt.
And this is Sounds Like with Andertons TV. So Matt, who are we sounding like?
In this episode, we're going to try and sound like John Mayer on a budget.
John Mayer. Now, I'm sure most of you know who John Mayer is, but he's a singer-songwriter from States, and he's just got the feels, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's great voice and great tone.
Yeah. Now, everyone probably knows he's most famous for he had a signature Strat and he had a 2-rock amplifier. But you're already racking like...
Yeah, 2 rocks, a bit out of our budget.
We're talking like 6-7 grand rig there.
Yeah, so we're going to try and keep it a little cheaper.
What kind of budget?
Yeah, we need to sit definitely under the 2-rock kind of price. So yeah, around the 1,500 quid mark is sensible, I reckon.
I think we can do a John Mayer sound for around 1,500 quid. So yeah, let's see what we can do.
Let's give it a go.
Because we're doing John Mayer, first thing to do is get a guitar. So I reckon we're not going to go full-on American Fender because you're looking at already a grand, 1,100 quid for that. So I reckon we need to find a 60s classic vibe. That's what I've got in here.
How about a £94 Stag 3/4 size?
Let's have a look at this. Does it look good?
It looks like you're twice as big as you are.
Does it? Squire Bullet Strat HSS. I think that's pretty awesome, to be honest. Anyway, classic vibe 60s. Oh, there you go. I love it when it's easy. In terms of looks, it's not really what John Mayer would use because he had his signature, which was a straight up sort of black and white one with a rosewood board. But we've got the rosewood board here, and it's a 60s Strat, so it's got a similar kind of tone to the kind of thing he'd go for. This is a 2-tone burst, I think. Oh no, this is a 3-tone burst. £360.
Perfect.
So, with all due respect, John Mayer, with your £2,000, £3,000 Strat, I reckon we're going to get to sound like you with one of these. I reckon we need to be able to get a pretty decent, creamy but beautiful, jangly tone, so we can spend a little bit more on the amplifier. I reckon Fender, some sort of Fender combo. Let's go have a look. Wall of Fender.
Fender.
Okay, so I reckon good quality Fender combo, not ridiculously expensive, but not something solid state. We need to get those valves working, I think. So, £1,000 combo here is probably a little bit
pricey.
Yeah, it's a little bit pricey. That's great value though. 40 watts, 145 quid.
Yeah, the Champions are great.
To be fair, if you're starting out, recommended. Ah, here we go. Right. So, this is the George Benson Hot Rod Deluxe. Now it's quite funny using someone else's signature amp to sound like someone else. But number one, it comes with groove tubes in it, which are great quality tubes. It's a pine cabinet, which is different from the standard Hot Rod, and the speaker has been upgraded. So at 800 quid, it's probably a pretty good bet that we're going to get a decent tone out of it. So I'm reckoning we get some sort of clon, maybe.
So what exactly is a clon for those people who don't know?
Clon is essentially a clean boost, but you can dial in the gain if you want. It just basically allows the preamp to work a bit harder, get that kind of drive tone. The idea here is if we get a clon or a clone essentially, because they're really expensive, we find something a bit more affordable, and then we pair that up with a clean boost. We're just cooking the preamp a bit more, and we're going to get some nice drive tones out of one of them, and then simply just a nice clean boost out of the other to really give us that sweet John Mayer creamy bitey tone. Right there, but the knobs on that are pretty much the same as the ones on the original Clon Centaur. They're just a little bit smaller. Treble, output and gain. So to be honest, that will be our Clon gain pedal, and then we'll use the Katana to boost the whole thing, and then we should have a John Mayer sound. Cool, so rig summary. We're going to go with the 60s Classic Vibe Strat. We're going to go with the George Benson Hot Rod, our J-Rad Archer pedal, which is a clone essentially, and then we've got the Katana, which is about the same. So we're about bang on, really.
It's about nearly 1,500 quid.
Yeah.
Is that all we're going for? Just those two?
Yeah, I think because we get reverb from the amp, clean boost with the Klon, Strat, hot rod.
Boom.
Roughly 1,500. So let's just go and check it out.
Sounds good.
Alright guys, we're in the room, we're in the video room.
We're back in the video room.
And we're here with all the gear to sound like John Mayer. What I found with John Mayer is that he rolls off a bit of the tone on the guitar and a little bit of the volume, and that's where you get the sort of richer tones that he seems to achieve.
Yep.
So let me give you a demonstration of the kind of sound we've managed to achieve, and hopefully it's somewhere in the ballpark of John Mayer tone. So. Oh,
that's beautiful.
Considering that's, you know, £360 guitar.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean,
Squires have come on a long way since I had one.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously his signature Strat, you're talking a few grand,
yeah.
Or at least I think they don't make it anymore, but when they did, you know, it's a couple of grand, and a lot of it is about the guitar and stuff, but that's where I think the classic vibe stuff
yeah, it's great.
Really shows itself off. I mean, obviously Hot Rod Deluxe and some great quality pedals, but to get that kind of sustain, that comes from the guitar having a good resonance. Yeah, I could sit there all day and let that ring out. So yeah, I mean, top and bottom of it is, you get the Archer, the Katana, roughly around 300 quid in pedals, which is quite, it's quite a lot of money. But when you consider the kind of things they can do, I mean, let's listen to the Archer on its own. It's that is a nice sounding pedal.
Yeah. It's just a really nice rig, to be honest. But I think we went for slightly more expensive pedals. You know, 150 quid a pop type, and they really richen it up a little bit.
Especially
made a difference.
Yeah. Now let me show you the clean boost on its own with the amp. So. It just kind of opens up the amp a little bit more.
Yeah.
So if I take it off.
Much more pokey.
Yeah, a bit more pokey, and it just opens out a bit more. But then the Archer kind of does kind of most of the work, but it's more about the two of them together where you find that sustain and that lovely bite. So that's it. That sounds like John Mayer. I mean, I hope we achieved a sounds like John Mayer sort of tone.
That one I'd say got pretty close.
Yeah, I mean the reference tracks. If you want to know the kind of thing we base the tone around, there is I Don't Need No Doctor, which is kind of plays it more live than it's on a CD of an album. So if you find a live version, and also Gravity. But to be honest, John Mayer kind of has a similar tone throughout all his records and live and stuff. It's kind of his thing. So with his signature Strat and all that.
So it's like a all-rounded John Mayer tone.
Yeah, this is more of a more well-rounded John Mayer tone.
Which is also great for anyone who's just generally into blues.
Yeah, absolutely. Please comment as well. Chuck some comments and tell us what you think, if we got close, or or your experience with trying to sound like John Mayer if you've done so.
Yep.
But yeah, this is Sounds Like on Andertons TV.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Bea.
And we'll see you later.